The first lesson that I learned from the beginning was it's okay to not be okay. And I know that this is something that gets tossed around quite often, this idea of being where you are, and it's become almost a cliche, but I think it is so important. And when we share about it, we often miss the point, because what happens oftentimes is when we're struggling. For me, it was when I was struggling with depression and anxiety and PTSD. I wanted to cover it all up. I wanted other people to think that I was okay, think that I had it all together, because on some level it felt like a failing if I let them see that I was falling apart. And so in the process of that, I actually had a very dear friend who went through his own period of experiencing abuse and coming to me for help. And in that process, I was able to watch him be safe enough with me to let himself not be okay. And it was amazing, the transformation that occurred in him when he found someone with whom he could be safe and open and let himself fully fall apart. Because what happens when we are pushing against our lessons, pushing against the wounds that are hurting us so much, and we're pretending that we have it all together, that everything is okay, what happens is that we start to deny that there's a wound in the first place, and it starts to fester, and we try and hide it away, push it into the closet, and eventually we've pushed so much into the closet that it's just going to all come tumbling out. And I think this is something that we're starting to see in our society today that hasn't been known for many, many years, but we're starting to see it today, this culture of being able to speak up when we're not okay. But often, thanks to things like social media and especially Instagram, there seems to be this urge to have an image of what it looks like to not be okay. That idea of, I'm not okay, but everything's fine. It's like making an excuse for ourselves, like, I'm not okay, but I will be. There's always that but, there's always that something that's holding us back. And we feel like it's wrong to not be okay. And this is something that has been such a huge change in my own personal journey, is realizing that not being okay is part of human life. We are not designed as human beings to be 100% happy and joyful and clear all of the time. If we were designed to never have problems, we wouldn't be human. We could just stay in the spiritual realm and be our full spiritual selves and not endure the suffering that comes with being human. And this is something we'll get to later on, but I think it's so important. And it was such a turning point for me when I realized that not being okay is a natural, normal, intrinsic part of being human. And so when you let yourself embrace that, you let yourself embrace this part of your humanity that was otherwise unseen. And I think this is also something that is so important, is this idea of knowing that these hard things, knowing that these moments when we're not okay allow us to become who we are tomorrow. If the things that in my life made me feel like I wasn't okay hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here speaking with you all today. And so knowing that it is truly okay to not be okay, mostly because it's part of being human, but also because it's leading you where you're going to go next.